Hi, this is another edition of The Spectre. I'm D.S. Yaxheimer, and with Valentine's Day upon us, I'm going to be talking about dating sites. Online dating. 3 in 10 U.S. adults in the past decade say they have used an online dating service. It's become a multi-billion-dollar business, of course, and just as much of a disappointment for people who've had trouble meeting someone just in person. Now, I've used a few dating sites, and the result of which was a decade-long relationship, and we got engaged. So we were engaged for about 10 years, and now I'm in my mid-40s, and it's most people my age, of course, are married, or they are, you know, now they've been in a relationship and they're broken from that. It's as I am, so it's really just difficult to honestly even have any sort of optimism about entering the dating scene at my age. You know, I mean, you can meet somebody out and about, just, you know, or online, and have the same, you know, sort of dire odds either way, quite frankly. And to put bluntly, you have to be somebody wants to fuck. I mean, this is what it really comes down to. I mean, we're sold. I mean, when anything is being sold to us, whether it's pharmaceuticals or beauty products or like hair replacement methods or anything like that, it's just basically to make you feel like you're unattractive. And if you don't buy this thing, you're not going to get fucked. And that's what these dating sites are. You're never going to get laid again if you don't use this dating site. And that's complete fucking bullshit. So, and it's nonsense. It's so, you know, in the past year since I've been single again, I mean, I've had a lot of time to reflect on the relationship I was in and how I met her. And I actually went on another date using the same site before I met her, and I was, you know, younger and a little more optimistic about it. I mean, I've always been kind of cynical, but I was just like, you know. But before that, I was pretty. I was pretty averse to using like a dating site to meet somebody. I just didn't buy into it. It seems a little kind of fucked up, and I still think it's fucked up, quite frankly. So going through all that, and I mean, I'm not going to go through. I mean, I talked about a lot of this in my last video discussing my ex, and I don't by any means hate her or anything like that. It's not that sort of thing. Brokenhearted over the whole thing, of course, and everything in the circumstances involved with that. But it's dating. But getting back to dating sites, it just sells you a lot of false hope, like everything else. Like, I don't know, religion's a good example of that, perhaps. Yes, you can meet somebody. If you're good looking and stuff like that, boy, you know, I mean, you're going to get a lot of hits, and people are going to message you, and they're going to get back to you, and you're probably going to go out on dates. If you're a cat like me that doesn't make a lot of money and looks like Kevin Spacey or whatever, no, you're not going to get a lot of fucking hits. Maybe, I don't know. People have said I look like Kevin Spacey, so I say that. I don't necessarily think I do. I'm just kind of a regular looking guy. On top of the fact that I'm older and I have, you know, I don't make a lot of money, and you know, a lot of reasons and stuff like that. So I know that, so I don't expect, I don't expect it to yield a lot of results in terms of, I'm currently using a dating site. I just tried it for a month. I am sort of planning to meet someone next weekend, hopefully, and everything like that. But you know, I'm guardedly optimistic, as I am. A lot of things have in my last relationship went wrong, as I'm not going to go into that here, obviously. I may have talked about my last video. I don't remember it, because in my last video it looks like I just, you know, like crawled out of the yard after a night of drinking. Like I was just, you know, it was bad. Or I was up all night working on a homicide. I was 5 o'clock shadow and all that. That was rough. I was really depressed. So anyway, but I just don't, I think, you know, fine, great if you do meet somebody. I mean, most people I know, come across, talked to in recent years, met their mate on a dating site of some kind. And I'm probably not going to do that once the dating site that I'm on, once that expires, my subscription, whatever you want to call it, because I'm just going to try to meet somebody in person after that. If it yields nothing, I'm just not going to go put myself through that again. I kind of had a novel idea. I think they should have a breakup site. My ex definitely would have used that, I think, because she didn't really break up with me in person, as I may have mentioned in the last episode. You know, you just, you try to, I think it is. I mean, you do have to sort of be, you know, be able to deal with rejection, because, I mean, I've definitely been rejected, not just in, you know, by women, but in life in general. I've been rejected a lot, so it's sort of, I'm used to it. But in any case, but yeah, I think a breakup site would be really nice. I think that's my new, maybe I could, you know, become the next, you know, internet billionaire, fucking coming up with some horrible thing like Facebook or something. And but it is, I mean, with that said, yeah, the internet's pretty insidious advent. I don't think it's made our lives better. In terms of who we are as people and just our, you know, mental health, I don't think the internet's been a good thing. It's just, particularly, I mean, it's been available to the public since 1991, and all people do is just document the minutia of their lives and everything on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. And it's so unnecessary, and it's such a fucking, just a colossal waste of time. It is. It's, people used to just live their lives, you know, I mean, and then they maybe take a picture of something, or take a picture of, you know, some place they were at, but it was for them, and they'd put it in a scrapbook or something and maybe show people later, or photo album, and that would be the thing. It wouldn't be like sort of out there on you know, online for, you know, to be more generally seen by people who aren't really close to you, or maybe acquaintances or coworkers and stuff like that. You know, there's no real boundaries anymore. People have rescinded their right to privacy, and the government loves it. And I know I'm sort of getting into another area here, but in dating sites, but I don't, it's, it is sort of a weird thing to meet someone who is a complete stranger you met online, and they've managed to market that and make it seem sort of normative. So yeah, I guess that would be another odd thing about dating sites. It's just to normalize meeting someone you absolutely do not know. I mean, it's like, so I mean, but I guess it's a way for people to, you know, network socially. It is a place, you know, I mean, it is hard to meet people the way we used to conventionally meet people, which was out at clubs and bars and yeah, any place else where there was like a public social forum, you know, where you could meet someone in person, wherever that might be. There's just fewer of those. Even the fucking mall was a public forum in which people could kind of, you know, meet in person, you know. I used to, I mean, sometimes go on a date and we would go to the mall because everything was there. The mall was sort of like the internet, you know, back in the 80s and 90s, in a sense. So it's, that's sort of social gathering place has those places have been kind of decimated in, you know, most areas, you know, outside of the cities and things like that, where you don't have places where there's, you know, concentrations of people and they can interact with one another. So that's gone. So that's where the internet comes into play, of course, and where dating sites are there. And they really don't do anything. I mean, you pay a lot of money for them, and they're basically, you know, that you have profiles, but the thing of it is, they're not, I mean, I know they're not, there's no guarantee you're going to meet somebody, but I mean, there's no real, it's kind of just luring you in to buy something and subscribe to something, and then they get money, and then you just kind of walk away, realizing that nobody wants you, and that's just sad. It is. I mean, I can understand why people, like, you know, most people, they don't even have friends. I mean, fuck, I really, you know, I have like, I mean, I have a couple of friends, but a lot of times I really don't, you know. It's, you know, it is sad that people are sort of disenfranchised, or just, you know, feel like there's no place for them to go, and because it's people have become so phony, and they really have. I mean, they just they become like, that's the only way to really put it without going into too much detail. I mean, I'm not saying any particular group of people is like that. A lot of people are like that. They have highly unrealistic expectations of a mate, and well, and at the same time, they think they're altruistic, and they care about people and everything, and issues and whatever, but the people who they are actually interact with in person, they're extremely, you know, kind of rude and condescending to, as I've found. So, but, you know, that's really my take on dating sites, that I can, you know, based on my experiences with them. They're really only, basically they work if you're someone wants to fuck. That's my summarization of it. I'm not saying you can't meet someone and develop a meaningful relationship through that. I mean, people meet people all kind of places, either online or wherever. So, and you can, you know, your odds of developing a relationship are pretty much the same, probably. And that's basically all I have to really say about it. If you are online and you paid like $160 for 6 months of like you know, surfing through profiles and, you know, in hopes of getting a couple of dates, which is pretty much what, if you're lucky, it'll yield that. Good luck, but I don't really have a lot of confidence in it. I think it's mostly it's just another thing online that is there to basically get your money. It's really what it is. Like, I mean, if I subscribe to Amazon or something like that, or Amazon Prime, I'm getting something for my money. I can watch some movies and TV series and stuff like that. I know what I'm getting. With, you know, you can't, I mean, to promise something like basically love, which is really what you're looking for. You're looking for someone to fall in love with, and that's a tall fucking order, and no one can promise that. So I guess that's always something to keep in mind. But anyway, if you have any ideas for future episodes of The Spectre, I would appreciate any suggestions if you happen to stumble across this video. Like and subscribe if you like my channel. Ring the notification bell if you want to be notified of future uploads. I'm DS Yaxheimer. This has been another edition of The Spectre. Have a happy Valentine's Day. If you're alone, don't feel bad. So will I. And that's my birthday, for fuck's sakes. I guess keep your head up. You know, if you're someone like me who suffers from depression, that's the best advice I could impart to you. And you know, if hopefully you're seeing a therapist and seeking proper mental health treatment, because that is important to take care of yourself with regard to that, especially if you're alone and you have left a relationship and stuff like that. Because I took it very hard the last time when my fiance dumped me a year ago. That was about the roughest thing I ever been through, and I would hate to hear about anybody, you know, some of the things I was thinking of doing, you know, for that to happen to them. Always, you know, there's always, you can always go to the hospital. There's mental health care workers there that can take care of you, or, you know, call the suicide prevention line. Here's my PSA at the end. Anyway, I just wanted to drop that. But yeah, I hope you do have a happy Valentine's Day. I hope you meet somebody. Anyway, take care.